Okay, hey, everybody. World history. Hope this is where you want to be. Mr. Ringo here, and we are starting Unit 20 on World War One. I'm going to try to be as brief as I can with today's notes. We're going to look at the origins of World War One. Again, your only assignment for this unit, which will be on today, Tuesday, and probably Thursday of next week, will be your study guide for Unit 20. I will put it in the module here after the video. And when you do the successive lessons on Tuesday and Thursday of next week, you still come back to this module, this part of the module, open up the same study guide to work on it completed. That's your only assignment, so make sure you get it done. So we're going to start with the origins of World War One, and really, I want to start with this man right here, Otto von Bismarck, pictured here as a cartoon drawing, a very good one also. Otto von Bismarck is going to be the man who will unify Germany. For hundreds of years, the German states weren't unified as a strong German country. There were a bunch of individual city states or provinces or territories, all ethnically German, but not consolidated as one powerful German nation. Otto von Bismarck will change that. He will have a strong military, and he will help Germany grow and come together, and he will create really the first German nation. He'll become known as the Iron Chancellor for his strong armed ways, very harsh. He wasn't quite a dictator, but he was a strong leader, and the Germans loved him. He was the head of the military as Germany becomes a unified nation, but a man named William the First, or Wilhelm, becomes the first Kaiser. Kaiser is German for emperor, and it's kind of going back to the days of the Holy Roman Empire, back before that, the Roman Empire. So Kaiser Wilhelm the First, or William the First, will be the first actual leader of this German nation. And he and Otto von Bismarck will create what's known as the Second Reich or Second Empire. Again, going back first to the original Holy Roman Empire of the Middle Ages and a little beyond that, this will be the Second Reich, Second Empire, German Empire. And this will lead into what we'll talk about a little later this month, the Third Reich, which is what Adolf Hitler was trying to create in the 1930s and 1940s as we go into World War II. Otto von Bismarck is actually going to be asked to step down when Kaiser Wilhelm I's grandson, Kaiser William or Wilhelm II, takes over. And William II says there is only one master in the Reich, and that is I. Now, Chancellor, the Iron Chancellor Otto von Bismarck could have challenged him, but he knew that would lead to a civil war, and that's something he didn't want to bring upon Germany. We've just now unified. Let's not start fighting now. So the Iron Chancellor Otto von Bismarck will step aside and let Kaiser Wilhelm II take over from here. So this is kind of the beginning of the strong German nation, and we need to know that as we move into World War One, because Germany is going to be so much behind the origins of World War One. Also, the fact that there's so many empires on the decline here in the later 18 into early 1900s. The Ottoman Empire is falling apart. This Middle Eastern Empire is kind of dissipating. As we said, the Holy Roman Empire has declined. The Austrian-Hungarian Empire is kind of the Habsburg Empire on the decline. So, and in an area just north of Greece, known as the Balkan region, this area becomes known as the powder keg of Europe because things are so tense there that they say one spark might start a war. Well, let's see if that happens. So, the roots of the Great War begins with a distrust that leads to alliances, that leads to war. Now, these alliances were put together as a military alliance to prevent war from happening. It doesn't work that way. What we end up having is two separate alliances. We have the Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente, and you do need to know the difference here. The Triple Alliance, this is going to be made up of the countries in the blue plus Italy, which is in the red on your map in front of you. I'll explain in just a second. But the Triple Alliance is made up of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. Those are the three nations you need to know as the Triple Alliance. Italy drops out shortly after the war begins and joins the Allied forces, but originally it was Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy as the Triple Alliance. The Turkish Empire, which is the Ottoman Empire, joins in later with the Triple Alliance. Now, the Triple Entente, those would be, in the American view, the good guys. This is going to be England, France, and Russia. Entente is a French term for an alliance. So England, France, and Russia will make up the original Triple Entente. And again, the U.S. will join that alliance once we enter the war. Now, we talk about rivalries, and nationalism will help lead to war. There are going to be economic rivalries as nations compete for trade with other nations. There will be international rivalries as these European countries fight foreign powers outside of Europe for economic avenues. Militarism is a term you should know. Militarism is the glorification of the military, the building up of your military. And this is something most European nations were doing, trying to have a stronger military than their neighboring countries in case they need it, in case there's war. Nationalism is a key term. Nationalism is a strong sense of pride in your country. And certainly you should have pride in your country. But this is going to lead to problems, especially in Europe, especially in the Balkan region there north of Greece, because every country feels their culture, their way of life is better. You know, these European countries are no bigger than states here in the United States. We're one large country with a collection of United States. In Europe, about the same size as America, they're all individual countries. They have their own cultures, they have their own language, oftentimes their own religion, their own currency, all kinds of different styles of dress, of food. And this leads to problems. But every country believes they're the best, as well they should. And this is what leads to, going back to full circle here, to the powder keg of Europe, which is the Balkan region. Now, we won't get into details specifically of what happens here, but this is the powder keg, and a spark does ignite a flame and an explosion that leads to World War I, and that's what we're going to talk about next with the spark. Now, pictured here, you have a famous painting of Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophia in the back of a car. They're being shot by a man named Gavrilo Princip with his back to you there. So Franz Ferdinand is the Archduke of Austria, and he is holding a parade in the country of Bosnia. We won't get into the details of why this bothers the people of Serbia, but it does. And the Serbians have a terrorist organization known as the Black Hands, and they warn Franz Ferdinand that if there's a parade in Bosnia, there's going to be trouble. There might even be violence. He ignores those warnings, and he goes ahead and has his parade. Well, the Black Hands had a plan. They were going to throw a bomb into Franz's car. The plan failed. They missed the car. The car gets away. However, the job is finished when Gavrilo Princip, a member of the Black Hands, this terrorist group from Serbia, finds Franz Ferdinand, and shoots him and his wife Sophia, as well as their unborn child. Sophia was pregnant at the time, killing them both, plus the unborn child. This is the spark. Franz Ferdinand's assassination is the spark that will start World War I, and Gavrilo Princip is the man who will kill him. Now, the reason this starts the war is because all of these alliances start to fall in line and creates a broader conflict. So Austria-Hungary sends Serbia an ultimatum. Basically, you do this or else. You know, if you have a younger brother or sister, or are the younger brother or sister, you probably have been involved in an ultimatum situation. You know, you got a little brother and say, hey, you better take the trash out for me, or I'm going to tell mom you're the ones you didn't clean up the kitchen, or you're the one that broke the lamp. You do this or else. And Austria-Hungary sends this to Serbia. You help us find out who shot Franz Ferdinand, or else there's going to be trouble. You know, what's the trouble? Well, Austria-Hungary didn't want to start a war, but Germany was okay with starting a war. So Germany, who's an ally of Austria-Hungary, sent them what's known as a blank check. Germany got a hold of Austria-Hungary and said, listen, whatever you need, money, weapons, soldiers, we will help you. Declare war if you need to. We will back you up. And with this, Austria-Hungary will declare war on Serbia, and Germany will also declare war on Serbia. Serbia's ally Russia will declare war, and one by one, these alliances all fall into place. After Russia declared war on Germany, Germany and Austria-Hungary declares war on Russia. France declares war on Germany and Austria-Hungary because they're an ally to Russia. France is attacked. Britain, France's ally, joins in. It's just one by one, like dominoes. These alliances fell into place. And this is how World War I begins. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about today is something known as the Schlieffen Plan. Alfred von Schlieffen, a German officer, came up with a plan to help Germany avoid fighting a two-front war. What that means is they want to avoid fighting a war against Britain and France in the west of Europe and against Russia in the east. So his plan was to go through Belgium, which was a neutral country, take out France and Britain as quickly as possible, knocking them out of the war so they could concentrate on Russia only. Great plan, doesn't work. France falls, but Russia, they don't fall completely, but they're on their way. But Britain is able to mobilize quick enough and come to France's aid and prevent this from happening. So Germany ends up fighting a two-front war, both in the West and the East. And we're going to leave it at that. This is the beginning of World War I. Tuesday, we will look at more of the details of the war. I might actually have a couple other videos for you to watch beside the lesson. We'll see time-wise if we can squeeze those in. So again, make sure you go now to your study guide for Unit 20. Be working on that. That is your only assignment for this unit. You'll have today, Tuesday, and Thursday to be working on that, and it won't be due till later that week. So that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys again come Tuesday. Goodbye.